So I'm also going to be teaching math. And our topic would be subtraction with word problems. So we have a plan, which is 2 steps total. So the first is to review basic subtraction using only numbers. And then next would be to use that to solve word problems step by step. So let's start with a quick review with some terms. So for example, in this equation, 8 is the minuend, and the minuend is what you're subtracting from. So that's usually the bigger number. And then the subtrahend, or 5, is what you're taking away from the minuend. So if you say 8 minus 5, so you take away 5 stars from the total of 8 stars. And then you count the difference, which is the answer. So you're left with 3. And more complicated situations where you have to borrow, for example, 33 minus 5, you borrow from the tens digit, or 3, and then you change it to 2. And then because you're taking away or borrowing from a tens digit, you add 10 to the ones digit. So it becomes 10 plus 3 is equal to 13. So if you have 13 stars and then you subtract 5, you get 8. And then you just bring down 2 because there's nothing to subtract from in the tens place. So you get 28 from 33 minus 5. So going to word problems, with this, it's kind of simple. Travis has 9 pieces of candy. He takes 4 pieces of candy from his pack to give to his sister. How many candies does he have left? So the first step is to find these values. So we'll start with the minuend. And the minuend, again, is basically the total, or what you're taking away from. So it's usually the bigger number. With that, you can say that the minuend is 9. And the subtrahend is 4. And you can see this because of the words takes and from. So you're taking from the 9 pieces of candy and you're taking 4. So the next step is to fill in the equation. So it becomes minuend minus subtrahend is equal to the difference. So you fill that in and it becomes 9 minus 4. And then the next step is basically to solve. So you're given 9 candies and then you take away 4 and then you count the remaining. So you get 5 candies left. And then here's another more complicated example. So there are 24 cookies and 8 muffins at the start of the birthday party. After the party, there were 6 cookies and 1 muffin left. So how many cookies were there? How many cookies were eaten? So the first step again is to find the values. And this can be a bit complicated because there are way more numbers than needed. So you look at the question and it says how many cookies were eaten. So you need to emphasize on the cookies. So for the minuend, again, it's the total. It's something you're taking away from. So it's 24. And then for the subtrahend, you use words like after and left. So you have 6 cookies then. So we go to the next step now. And you fill in the equation. So it becomes 24 minus 6. And the last step, again, is to solve. So since we need to borrow again, you take away 1 from 2 and you add 10 to 4. So it's 14. And if you have 14 cookies and then you take away 6, you count that, you get 8. And you bring the 1 down and then you get 18 cookies. So to answer the question, there were 18 cookies eaten during the entire birthday party. And again, to help you, we have 3 steps. The first is to find the subtrahend and minuend and use words to help you. So you can use words like left, take, from, total, and etc. As long as you understand what the terms are, then you're pretty much okay. So the next is to fill in the equation. And again, it's minuend minus subtrahend is equal to the difference. And last is to solve. So that's it, we're done. Thank you.